That's a waffle made with oat bran, ground flaxseed, and almond flour. That's it. Some water. And hydroponically grown strawberries and some blueberries. I'm going to be talking about The Boys seasons 1 and 2, which got top of the stack against Just My Type, Snake Eyes, The Crime Is Mine, and my Rembrandt. And talk about these. I didn't bring out a poem. I'm going to have to go in and turn off that light. So, no, it's okay. Anyway, now this first season of this was way better than the second season. The second season they had, okay, I should tell you it's about superheroes. They're more like X-Men or something, but they're not good guys. They're marketed as being superheroes and good guys, but they're actually not. And so the story really follows this one main superhero character, and she's a nice person, and she wants to do good, and she gets with this superhero crowd. There's only 7 of them that are the big superheroes of America, and she gets with them, and she realizes, oh, it's all marketing, and we're not actually saving people and whatever. And being with them after a while, she's not so super herself, honestly. Season 2, it was honestly all over the place. They really didn't do a great job tying this one together. It's unfortunate. It was still entertaining, but I mean, you see a lot of nudity and really seriously violent scenes, like quite a lot of gore. But some people are really into that, so whatever.
Especially the mixture. I don't understand it. What's the appeal? I don't know.
But anyway,
screwed up people.
There's I really don't know. There's one of the heroes. She's not really a hero at all. She's a total racist, and she I could have taken them off for you. I asked you.
Oh, I didn't. I thought you were talking about the white part. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Anyway, and she happens to be really old. I don't know if she can even die, but she's taken on as one of the 7, and there's by the end of the season 2, she's taken down, but I mean, she could very well be back. I don't expect that she can die, so she'll just need a little bit of healing time. Anyway, they made her out to be like Trump. So in this story, in season 2, this woman who used to be Lady Liberty, I don't remember what her name is now, but she's really getting people angry, getting the whole population of humans in the United States stirred up. She says, you you don't need to win the love of everyone, you just need to make 20% of them or something like that really angry and whatever. And so that's what her goal is. And I don't think that Hollywood really has, I think they're totally detached, honestly, from reality. They're so busy working with these fictional stories that they don't understand what happens. Trump didn't actually get people stirred up. He read the crowd. He realized what was happening, and he thought, this can benefit me. Wake up. Anyway, James will probably talk about that a little more, because he'll enjoy that.
No, I don't enjoy it. At least people should figure things out on their own. And of course, when I point things out, they'll just get their hackles up. But I don't enjoy the prospect of the world falling apart.
But I mean, Seth Rogen is one of the producers of this, and it should be very popular. I mean, don't know when it was put out. 2022, this says on here. So I imagine people are really into watching this, and it is entertaining. I mean, the main character that they follow, I think her name is Starlight or something like that. I can't remember. But she's at first, when she gets introduced into the superhero pack, into the 7, then she tells this one guy, oh, you know, I totally had a crush on you. I had your posters and this and that in my room and whatever, right? Which people would. You have these superheroes, and they'd be huge. So, and then the guy sexually assaults her. And he's like, well, you said you had a crush on me, like whatever, and it's not like I'm asking a lot here, and so either you do this or I'll say that you attack me and you're out of the group, so whatever, right? And so either your dreams come true, everything you wanted, or you can get out, whatever.
Sounds like that handsome rapist soccer player. I'm not going to say who it is.
So anyway, and he's there throughout this show, later on season 2 and stuff, he's trying to rehabilitate, which is really just rebrand himself as a hero instead of this total creep, right? And honestly, like, not knowing anything about these superheroes, he would have been the one that I would have went for too, because he talks to animals. He talks like he's called the Deep, and he talks to dolphins and whales and all sorts of lobsters, whatever, anything in the water.
How about earthworms?
I don't think so,
I
because I think it's in the water, but I'm not sure. But anyway, I mean, none of these guys are good guys. There's people who are fighting this system and whatever, but they're all bad. I don't know how anybody could relate to any of them. I mean, you kind of relate to the main character, the main woman, Starlight, or whatever her name is, and her love interest, because he seems pretty likable. You know, he's Simon Pegg stars as his father in this, and who doesn't like Simon Pegg? So they did a good job with the casting, because he looks sort of like, oh yeah, he could have been his son or whatever. But I'll leave that alone.
This looks so Hallmark.
It is so Hallmark. Yeah. Just My Type was actually entertaining. I enjoyed it, and I mean, it's about typing. They're writers, and Harvest Love was the worst. Like, it honestly, it could have been at the bottom of the stack. It was so bad. The woman is very pretty. She should never act.
Well, the dog is prettier, but that's not a reflection on her.
No, that's the one I was talking about. Harvest Love. This one was okay. Just My Type was actually decent. I enjoyed watching it. Okay. I've been watching a lot of Hallmark movies lately, and I don't know, it's all right. It's Hallmark. You kind of judge it in its own category, right? You kind of take it out and go, yeah, that's not too bad for Hallmark, right? So, but anyway, yeah, Harvest Love was almost unwatchable. But Snake Eyes, this is a G.I. Joe Origins thing, and I don't know anything about the G.I. Joe stuff.
So they didn't have a guy with sticky out ears. Wasn't G.I. Joe Tatum O'Neal? No, Tatum.
I don't
what was
know.
His name?
Maybe.
Tatum.
Yeah, but he might not. It might be that he's in another one of these G.I. Joe things, but he's just not in this story.
What is that guy's name, though? Something Tatum or Tatum?
Channing?
Channing Tatum. Or Tatum Channing. Whatever. Anyway, his ears stick out like crazy, like a dog that's heard something really interesting.
There was a lot of action going on in the background. I was writing poetry. It didn't distract me from it that much. I don't know. I guess some people are into this sort of thing. I just didn't find it that interesting. The Crime Is Mine, unfortunately, is a French movie, so I had to sit and read subtitles, which I'll admit I did not do. I wrote poetry instead. So I'd look
you'd
up
still
every
pick
now
up
and then,
the
and I'd
occasional
go,
thing,
oh
wouldn't you?
yeah, that's what's happening in the story. And then I'd go back to writing poetry, and then I'd look up, but yeah, I understood what went on in this story. It's about somebody who gains fame by claiming to have murdered somebody that somebody else actually murdered, and then the whole story unravels that way. But
yeah, I'm impressed because I can't figure things out. I used to, after I came home from work,
it's not a mystery.
In the morning, I would, it kind of looks like one.
I know, I was hoping for it, but it's just kind of dumb.
At any rate, I'd come home from work. If
it was a mystery, I would have been watching the whole thing instead of writing poetry, but I was not.
So I'd come home from work, and I'd eat my lunch. I just had a morning job in the late 70s, early 80s. And I'd watch soap operas, but I'd watch with the sound off. My favorite was The Young and the Restless. But I was really disappointed when I finally turned on the sound, and I realized I was just dreaming things up, Bo and Hope back then.
You're making better stories for it?
Well, I think so.
Yeah.
And I think there was a guy, I never realized where he was from, but it turns out I think he was from South Asia. Tony. I think he was supposed to be a bad guy, I'm not sure. And nowadays you couldn't get away with that because he'd be a person of color. And there was one show with the guy who used to be the bad guy in the Rat Patrol. He was like the German, and he was a pretty good villain, but I probably imagining things. My favorite villain, though, was a guy who looked like Ronald Reagan, and I think he smoked cigars and stuff like that. Anyway, it's hilarious, but maybe he wasn't even a villain.
So my Rembrandt, this documentary about people in the art world, not about artists, and so it's about collectors and the people who are selling art, and to a lesser extent the people who are maybe restoring art or doing that sort of thing. It's kind of a behind the scenes sort of thing. But it's I did not like it at all. It really it was boring, but it put a bad taste in my mouth about there was one part where they were showing, like, they'd x-rayed a painting and they thought that it was, I think it was Rembrandt's work underneath, and it must have, how they had those where artists would have some people doing painting for them and whatever. And
studio.
So they still do. People still do that.
Sure.
And it's
Jeff
awful,
Koons,
really. Well, who
knows?
knows? But there are others who they do that. But there's this painting. It's Rembrandt might have been working for somebody else. He might have been young at the time, or something like that, or whatever happened. His stuff is underneath, and they're like, okay, well, we got to scrape off this paint that they've painted over top of this. Which was a nice painting, over top. And they're like, we've got to scrape this off because they're like, well, Rembrandt, that's some high value stuff, which totally creeped me out.
Well, I wouldn't do that. What I do is scan it and then get a good Rembrandt imitator to do it. You know what I'm saying?
And say, this is what's underneath that.
Yeah, why destroy it?
Show the image of that they got from the X-ray to show this is what's underneath, and then so you can sit down and talk.
Well, I'm kind of getting a little bit of a chill here.
Oh, so okay, we're done then. So you're not wanting to talk about Trump?
I don't ever want to talk about that guy, but someone has to. But not today.